Nathan MacKinnon with as pretty an overtime winner as you were going to this year. The Avs bounce back after their first regulation loss in 40 days just a couple of nights ago to the New York Islanders. They beat their state brothers, the Rangers, this time in a Broadway matinee. 3-2 is the final in overtime. Artemi Panarin has a laser beam that ties this one up with just 32 seconds remaining in the contest, or rather 42 seconds remaining in the contest. MacKinnon and the Avs, that was their best overtime, their best 3-on-3 that they've looked this entire year. And MacKinnon comes in after being called offside, gets off the bench, dances New York through the middle of the ice, and then a short side backhand over the right shoulder of Igor Shesterkin, and the Avs walk away with a 3-2 victory. Welcome back into the Between the Pipes, ahead of the SEC Championship game starting in about a half hour on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. We'll recap this Rangers win for the Avs and get off so you guys can watch some Bulldog and Crimson Tide action and listen to it on 92.5.
Fuck those two teams. Fuck those two teams, man.
What a game, Spring.
What a game. That was a fun way to start your Saturday, huh? That's like every Avs Rangers game in the Garden that I've watched over the past like 4 years.
They always go to overtime. Yep.
That was it. Like, that's what we see when the Avs go to the Garden. The Rangers had been, I think they're 3-2 and something in their last handful of home games after an abysmal start at home, but kind of back to the abysmal. You only get 1 point. Fucking take that point. I don't care. They're in the Eastern Conference. They're in a crowded metro. Like, you can have that point all day. Better team won. I think the team that outshot him by about 10 or so, I'll pull up the box score here in a second, but I thought, again, a lot of times it's if this was a boxing, a UFC match, if I'm scorecarding, if I'm judging this game, I'd have gone 10-9 Avs. So better team won, and it being on the road gets you an extra point or two in the judges' scorecard. I know I went 10-9, but nonetheless, Avs with a better team in that building. That's a good Rangers team. That'll absolutely be a playoff team. They're starting to get it together a little bit, but better team won today. Despite, and I do want to talk, Raj, about some of the referee replay decisions down the stretch.
Yeah, we can go into what happened during the third period, and particularly late in the third period. After MacKinnon's goal is upheld, there's no high stick there from Nathan MacKinnon. He bats one out of midair after having chance after chance after chance today. We'll get into the power play in terms of just like passing the puck and simply not shooting. Maybe you're just looking for the perfect opportunity, but at this point, man, they might have to strip it completely down. We'll get into that in just a couple of minutes here, but we'll start with the reviews. I believe the Landeskog review holds up in my book. I don't think it was a goal. I think it could have been goaltender interference. If they called it the other night, they could have called it very clearly in the New York game. Would I have liked it? No, but I could have seen a possibility happening. It didn't look like it crossed the line, so I think a 2-1 lead for the Avs there is fine. What I thought was bizarre is when they challenge for a missed stoppage, the double high stick that Artemi Panarin has at the top of the zone before he takes the one-timer that ties it up on the 6-on-5. I don't know how you can say that's not a high stick.
I can't.
I don't understand.
Now, I want to talk about both of them. Let's start with the Brock Nelson goal, the little poke backhand after Landeskog does crash into Igor Shesterkin, but I believe this was very similar to it was Landeskog. They gave credit to Landeskog. It was the Canadiens game when they're wearing the Nordiques uniforms. We thought it was a Brock Nelson goal. That's why everybody threw their hats onto the ice when Nelson scored later, thinking it was a Brock Nelson hat trick. Turned out Landeskog actually kind of, inadvertently, not a distinct kicking motion. He was being forced down, ended up kicking that puck in. To me, that's very similar. I thought that Landeskog was kind of forced down / pushed into Shesterkin as he was crashing the net. Therefore, I would not have said that was goaltender interference. Now, what's weird about this, and I just interacted with someone on Twitter about this, when this went down, I thought that the call on the ice was goal. Like Mosier and the broadcast reacted goal. I felt there was a celebration for goal. Yet, and correct me if I'm wrong, Raj, chat, when they review it and then they come, and yes, that overhead angle of the puck near the line, it does not look like the puck fully crosses the red line. I think they got the call right. What was weird, though, is they said, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought they said the call on the ice was upheld, as in the call on the ice was no goal.
So, right, it was really weird. I never saw, did you see an official point?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I did not see, but it just felt like everyone was celebrating and the call on the ice was goal. But you're right. I can't remember if I don't know what they announced.
It was odd because I didn't see the referee point at the net. I saw the referee look. He had
Penny in the chat says the ref was waving it off.
Okay, because again, what's really odd is that like the group of Avalanche in front of the net, they wait to celebrate, and you can see them all look at the referee, like they pause to go, do we celebrate or do we not? And then honestly, this does happen a lot in hockey, whether it's in the youth game, the collegiate game, or even in the pro game. Like, fake it till you make it. Like, if you think it's over the line, celebrate so you can get the call on the ice, so then it has to be overturned. Maybe that's what happened because they all waited for a beat and they looked at the referee and then they went, screw it, fuck it, we scored a goal, let's celebrate. So I was in the same boat as you. I thought the call on the ice was a goal. It was not. Mm-hmm. They went directly to review. They called it off. It was the right call.
Even if it was called goal on the ice, that edge of that puck stays on the red line. It does when you see the replay. So I'd say, now that's just something I wanted to point out, but regardless, I think they got the call right, which is unfortunate. It was a great, grindy net front play from Ross Colton, then Gabe Landeskog, then Brock Nelson. By a millimeter, that goal stayed on the red line, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. So now let's talk about the high sticks, plural. Allegedly, I will say allegedly, from Artemi Panarin. Look, man, again, call on the ice was goal. And here's my understanding of it is the stick can be parallel with the shoulders. Now, I will bring up Nathan here. Let me actually Nathan MacKinnon's baseball swing, the rebound. What a play by Nathan MacKinnon. Okay. And he is, dude, I tweeted this out. He'd be the best player on the Rockies. This is a great baseball swing because when you're swinging the baseball bat, you kind of want to go down on it a little bit. You don't want to uppercut that, even though a lot of players right now will uppercut. They're looking for the home run. You actually want to swing kind of down on that ball. Nathan MacKinnon is swinging down on that thing. That wasn't even close. That's not a high stick. That was a good goal from Nathan MacKinnon. Okay, the Panarin plays, man, I'm not, and I know so many people are going to disagree with me. I try to be as objective as I possibly can, okay? I love this team. I love the Avs, but I don't want to homer this thing. I want to be objective, all right? Way too close for me to overturn. To me, and I know Mosier's talking about, and a lot of people are talking about, well, Yoel Kiviranta's 6'1", and Panarin's like what, maybe 5'10", and that puck's at his face.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how tall Kiviranta is.
I agree.
How tall Panarin is. That's the
to
rule.
Me. That though, both of those, while maybe just a tick high, okay, pretty parallel to the shoulders. I don't know how you overturn that.
Okay, so I can be on your side here for a little bit because what is the definition of the shoulders? It's almost like trying to determine a strike zone per player in baseball.
Sure.
What determines the shoulders? Is it here? Right? Is it the top of my pec?
I kind of always go top of the shoulders. I always kind of go here.
That's what I go. Don't know where the top of the shoulder begins and ends with shoulder pads. So
it was really close. I think it's closer than a lot of Avs fans are giving it credit for. It was really close.
The first one felt way higher.
Okay.
And Moj and Rycroft were talking in the broadcast where the second one was higher. I disagree there. I thought the second one was way closer, if not below shoulder height. I thought the first one, it's not clear, and that's the thing with review, especially when the call on the ice is it wasn't a high stick. It has to be beyond clear and evident that it was high. So I thought it was a high stick through the three angles that we were given on the broadcast. It was frustrating at that point because Panarin labels a shot against the grain. Like, what are you going to do?
That's a great shot. It really
Yeah, and
was.
great
I mean,
hockey
that was a
players are going
rocket
to
from deep.
great hockey players are going to
Panarin had a
show
great
up in big
game.
moments. Yeah, Panarin was good. I thought Panarin was good. I thought Zibanejad was good. I thought those are my two favorite Rangers
I
players.
thought the defenseman Schneider was good. And they don't have Adam Fox in this game. He's on LTIR.
Yeah, he's gone for a while.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, okay, it's in the Garden. To overturn that. Now, it was a savvy video. Like, I don't know. Was it official challenge? Because they didn't go on the kill. So is this an under 2 minute situation? I have no idea. But, it was savvy of Bednar and Hackstall to look at that and Brett Heimlich. And they felt confident in it. It kind of would have been one of those, like, man, you're barely offside. Like, imagine if that went against the Avs, and it's like,
you'd
wow,
be pissed off.
We're overturning it. And was it barely above the shoulders? Perhaps. Like, the blade is angled above the shoulders just because, the blade's going to stick upwards, to overturn that when it's negligible. Like, if that happened to the Avs, I would be like, damn, really? So, but that's where, and the hockey gods and the Rangers played a good game, but the Avs were the better team. And they were out shooting about like 10 or so as that third period ended. They end up out shooting them 41-26. I mean, the Avs really did possess the puck in overtime. Like, they had the chances in overtime.
Spring, there was a point where New York was out shooting you like 10-3, 10-4.
Yes.
New York came out firing in the first.
They
Colorado,
did.
like, without a doubt, for the last like 5 to 7 minutes of the first period, and then the second and the third, they turned into Colorado, where it was like they have the puck the whole damn game again. But I thought New York gave them kind of everything they have.
Yeah, it was a really tight game until it continued, and then Colorado consistently outshot them, and then certainly in overtime, and better team won. Like, don't worry about the New York getting a point and potentially being upset about what I thought was a fairly reasonable uphold at the end of the game on the Panarin goal. New York getting that point means absolutely nothing. They are in the Eastern Conference. Better team won. What? Nathan MacKinnon made a play. Speaking of hockey gods, and I want to bring this up, because first period, I did not like the interference call on Cale Makar, where he's getting tangled up with JT Miller. I thought JT Miller was kind of holding him, and Cale was like, get the fuck off me, dude.
How JT Miller's body language is atrocious. He has some of the worst body language in the league. Like, I know he's an American man, and he's got some, like, grit to him. I don't know if I want him on Team USA. He just, like, this, he stops playing hockey somehow. Now, I'll say that, and then because he's playing for the Americans, he'll turn into, like, white on rice, forechecking, son of a bitch to play against version of JT Miller. So that happens. I thought it was a bad call, and you saw, dude, Cale doesn't curse much. Cale cursed at those referees 3 times on the way to box. He went, what the fuck are you calling? I can't remember exactly what he said, but he cursed twice in terms of lip reading. A similar play happens at the end of the first period between Cale Makar and JT Miller. Cale does the same exact thing, pushes him back, and JT Miller, like, stops forechecking as Cale goes and gets the puck and breaks it out with under a minute to go. And Miller's, like, shoulders slump, and he looks at the referee in the corner and just starts beaking at him. And I was like, you're not going to get that call twice in a game. His body language drives me nuts.
We're starting to maybe get some insight into who was right between, and I guess maybe Canucks players still do hate Elias Pettersson, but I don't know, man. There's been some moments of JT Miller with the Rangers where it's like maybe Elias was right. But yeah, the Rangers hit 2 posts on that subsequent power play. Hockey gods, said, hey, Cale Makar didn't do shit there. How about Cale? He has a sequence, was a late first, early second, where he goes down the right side, kind of fakes inside, but goes down right, tries to go short side on Shesterkin. Shesterkin makes a good save. Then Makar has a far blocker side save that Shesterkin makes. And then Cale had another look where he missed the net. Cale was on one. He had a very good game overall. He's putting pucks on net. I liked Rycroft's analysis, like maybe go 5-hole. Cale is trying to pick those corners. And you're almost, as a goaltender, anticipating at this point that Cale's going to go high corner, maybe go something low for a rebound. But Cale was absolutely on one. He also took a puck in the face late
he
in
also
this game.
sent one into the face of was it Will Coyle? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Coyle.
Okay.
Whatever that player is on New York. He also ripped one like chin high on that guy. So he was headhunting. He got headhunted himself. You know what made me not realize, but also remember like how good Igor Shesterkin is? You mentioned the far side blocker opportunity that he had in the first period. Shesterkin makes that save look so freaking easy. It was the one where MacKinnon was at the top of the zone and MacKinnon like faked like he was going to go down the middle of the ice and go for a scoring opportunity himself. And he makes this little backhand pass for Cale, who's zipping into the zone off the change. Cale has all the space to walk in. He takes his space, changes his angle, and labels one for the corner on the blocker side. And Shesterkin waves it off like it's just an annoying fly. And that's where I go, the last guy that I remember doing that was Carey Price, was making saves that are so difficult look like they are, what else you got, guys? I'm okay. What else you got?
Yeah, here's something that maybe where the Rangers did the one area where I thought maybe they deserved to win this game, even though overall I would say Colorado did deserve to win. I thought Igor Shesterkin was a tick better than Mackenzie Blackwood in this game.
He made 20 more saves.
Well, he made more saves, but Igor had a great game. He was composed. He was sound. I thought Blackwood was a little out of sorts, got a little lucky at points. Kind of a carryover from, his relief appearance in the Islanders game, right? He came in for Wedgwood in that game, right?
Yes.
I don't know. Like I just have I trust my eye.
No. The Islanders' loss was Mackenzie's game.
That was all Blackwood all the way.
All Blackwood. Yeah,
so
that was
the last
all Blackwood.
game. It was the I can't even remember. But Blackwood,
he came in relief. Whatever game that Wedgwood left with the back injury, it was the last home game that they played.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, obviously that pellet goal that, Blackwood allows against the Islanders was terrible. I don't know. Look, obviously he only allows 2 goals. He was good. But just my eye test of grading him today, it wasn't his best. I thought Shesterkin was excellent. He was clean and smooth and everywhere. So it's even more of a testament to Colorado getting the 2 points and winning this game because Igor was on his game.
He has nearly 70 more saves than the next guy in the league. Like he is.
Is that your Vezina favorite? I haven't looked at the odds, but right now
I would assume he's the favorite right now because he has New York. Like New York isn't a playoff team without him, and there's a reason why he's the highest paid goalie in the league right now. He's the best.
Yeah, he's been of late. He's been the best. I talked about them starting him on a back-to-back. Like Jonathan Quick's like, what the fuck? Am I going to get a start? No, Igor's been on one of late.
He was my choice. He was my choice to win the Vezina at the beginning of the season, and I think he's going to do it. Now, the counting numbers right now favor Jesper Wallstedt, who's on an absolute, he's on an all-time rookie heater right now. He's got like a .944 save percentage. He's got a .174 goals against average. Now, he hasn't played as much as Shesterkin has, but Igor's got over 600 saves. The next guy in the league is Spencer Knight at 534. Shesterkin's got a 243 goals against average, a 913 save percentage. Those are all both going to go down, or rather, the goals against average is going to go up because he led in 3 today, which kind of sucks for him. I still think he's the guy to look at because they'll make the playoffs and everyone will realize that he's the reason why.
Yeah, look at what beat him today. It was the nasty MacKinnon backhand in overtime. It was MacKinnon off a rebound shot midair, baseball bat swing. And it was, shout out to the fourth line. Shout out to Parker Kelly feeding Zakhar Bardakov from the right wing into the slot. Great job by Bardakov to, to continue forward, put a shot on Shesterkin, almost gets the rebound and puts it back in. Kiviranta battling net front as well. Puck gets out of the zone, but it gets back in. Natchez is able to get on. He makes a good play to Malinsky, who once again gets a puck through.
Yep.
Parker Kelly from his knees tips it in. Shout out to the fourth line. Shout out to Sam Malinsky and Marty Natchez. Like, that's your opening goal of the game, and you needed all of them today. Zakhar Bardakov, I mean, I know he wants more ice time, but he's been good on the fourth line. Parker Kelly is as reliable and as good a fourth line player as you're going to find in the league. And then Sam Malinsky continues to do that thing. Like, it's a huge moment in this game.
Yeah, Bardakov gets a couple more minutes tonight than he did in on the island. He plays 6.5 minutes this evening. You get 10 minutes from Kiviranta. You get 11 from Victor Olofsson, who's seeing his ice time start to kind of diminish. Now, when the Avs get back and fully healthy, I think he'll live in that 13 to 15 range because I think he'll end up being a third liner for you for the rest of the year, man. So, yeah, the team looked good. I still don't want Nathan MacKinnon playing 25 minutes a night. Like, I still don't want Cale Makar having to be on the ice for 27-40. I want that to switch. That for me is not necessarily sustainable. But I did like the bottom six today. They were much better than they were against the Islanders. If you play like this tomorrow, you'll have a really good chance to beat the Flyers on a back-to-back.
You
Now
think
the
Gavin
question
Brindley
is,
plays tomorrow? He's on the trip.
He's on the trip, man. I'd play him. If he's ready to go, play him. There's no reason to like put kid gloves on the kid.
Now, look, the Rangers are, as we see this season play out and go on, and they're second to last in a crowded as hell Metro, but that's a top 3 team. They might win the division or at least finish third. Because Washington's on a heater right now. They did lose in overtime to the Ducks last night. Carolina's damn good, but that looked to me today like a Rangers team that is starting to get on track, despite only picking up 1 point and technically taking the L. That they're a really good team. They're getting it together. So those are games where MacKinnon does have to play a lot. Makar does have to play a lot because the Rangers are legit. Do I think they're winning a cup? No, but they're a very good team.
What do you think you expect out of Philly tomorrow? It's kind of a conundrum group out there. I don't really believe in the Flyers and their hot-ish start to the season. They are top 10 in the league in terms of goals against. They don't really score all that many. But 15-8-3 is way better than I thought they were going to be. Trevor Zegras leads the team with 10 goals this year. He's got 16 assists. Both of those mark pace. The Flyers, Dan Vladar is their starting goaldie. So
yeah, goaltending's a weakness for them.
There's a lot
Urson,
of things that
not great.
There's a lot of things about that team in that roster that I go, what should I be scared about? I think you should be heavy favorites to win this game. Like, Matvei Michkov is an exciting player. Name another guy that scares you.
Look, they're a very solid team. Trevor Zegras, like, I don't have advanced numbers in front of me. I'm not going to look him up. I don't really care. But I'm telling you, from what I've seen, he's actually kind of coming to his own this year in terms of being a better 5-on-5 player. All the shit that he's taken, and I understand why. So he's playing well. right now. You got an Owen Tippett, who's a good young player who was part of the Claude Giroux trade. He's solid. Who's they got a forward who's kind of been sneaky solid. Is it Dvorak?
They've got Christian Dvorak, Bobby Brink, the former Denver Pioneers, on
Sure.
that team. Travis
He's scored
Konechny's
some
a
goals.
bag. Travis Sanheim on the back end is a solid
Acquiring
defenseman.
a Jamie Drysdale, who is a bigger defenseman from the Ducks. They got Provorov, although he might be hurt. Because I'm not seeing him. Oh no, wait, no, he's a fucking Blue Jacket right now.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Provorov hasn't been a Flyer for a few years.
He's a fucking Blue Jacket. Never mind. Either way, goaltending is their weakness. They're solid. It's the second day of a back-to-back. There was a comment in here that did pique my interest as well. Will Wedgwood start tomorrow? If it's not Wedgwood, is this a Trent Miners start? If Wedgwood's not good to go with the back, is this a Trent Miners start? Or are you doing what the Rangers did recently and you're playing Blackwood 2 games in a row? I can't imagine you do that. This is either a Trent Miner or Scott Wedgwood start. And if it's a Trent Miner start, then that's somewhat of a concern.
Blackwood only saw 21 pucks tonight.
Hmm.
He only saw 21 pucks this evening. Looking at Dallas, and you hate to look over your shoulder because of how historically good you've been to start this year, you need to win tomorrow. Like, you need to find a way to either keep pace with what Dallas is doing behind you or finally get a little bit of separation. Again, we've talked about this ad nauseum. The two best teams in the NHL are both in the Central Division. It's a shame that they can't play in the Western Conference Final, and it's a shame that they can't play in the Stanley Cup Final. But I want wins, man. I want to guarantee. What's an easier game for Trent Miner to win? Is it tomorrow against Philly, a 15-8-3 team that is maybe currently out kicking their coverage? They're 7-3 in their last 10. Or is it one of the worst teams in the league in Nashville when you have a couple of days of rest? I argue it's the Nashville game.
Yes, it is. But typically, you are not starting a goaltender 2 straight nights.
No, it's very buck against trend. But I'm sitting here going, do it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Because, yeah, Philly is especially given your legs are going to be a little more tired tomorrow, and Philly's competent. Rick Tockett's their coach now. He's a good coach, despite what some might want to say. He is.
Rick Tocchet?
Tocchet.
And the Vancouver
former
Canucks?
Coach of the Canucks. Yeah, you know, they're better than Nashville. You could go Blackwood tomorrow. My guess would be, and what I would do, I would go Trent Miner tomorrow. Now, remember, he was solid. He came in relief for Wedgwood, and then he started the next night, or maybe it was 2 nights later, and he was very good again. I think the Avs might have lost that game. I think they did lose, but still Miner was good. I don't know. I have confidence in Trent Miner, though it is something that you'd look at and you'd be like, oh, maybe this is an L, but there's also something to be said about giving a guy an opportunity who has quasi earned it and dudes stepping up and playing for him in front of him.
In 2 games this year, Trent Miner has played 51-20 against Carolina. They lost that game 5-4 in a shootout. He did come in and stop 20
I think he saved every single
shots.
shot until the shootout. Yeah.
Yes. So
and the Avs came back in that game.
Came back in that game down 4-0. And then he plays 61-53 in overtime loss on the road in New Jersey. 61 minutes, 53 seconds, 4 goals against on 20 shots. So not as good against Jersey just 3 days after that. But you know what? Sure. Why not?
It was a better Jersey team. Look at what's happened to Jersey. I think they're on the outside looking in of the playoffs right now.
It's almost like Jack Hughes matters.
Yeah. Yeah. They've lost 4 in a row. And it goes to show how tight and clogged that Eastern Conference
Dude, the Eastern Conference is a joke. You know what? I didn't get to this. You said it earlier. You were like, you know what doesn't matter? Giving the Rangers a point because they're in the Eastern Conference. I say that's hogwash, Spring. It does matter because you know who you don't want making the playoffs? The goddamn Florida Panthers. If that means the Rangers get extra points and you just have to play an extra couple of minutes in overtime, be my guest. You know who wants to play overtime tomorrow and lose? The Philadelphia Flyers. Be my guest. If the Florida Panthers get kicked out, because I'm trying to game, you guys know me, I want the path of least resistance. That is the easiest way to win championships. That's the reason why you continue to strive for the 1 seed. Why? Because you don't want to go through Dallas in round 1. Why? Because you want to play the worst team in the Western Conference in round 1. The same thing happens on the Eastern Conference for me. If the Avs are getting to where I want them to go, which is a cup final, do I want them playing Florida when they're fully healthy? No. So you know who gets a point? The Rangers. You know who can have a point tomorrow? The freaking Flyers.
Yeah, no, it appears that Matthew Tkachuk will be playing for this team down the stretch, and yes, they won't have Barkov, but Tkachuk, and I know a lot of people don't like Matthew Tkachuk. He is a hell of a hockey player, and even just him on that Panthers team, it's a difference. So, yeah, anything you can do to keep Florida down right now and the rest of the East ahead of them is a good thing. And as pointed out in the chat, Florida playing right now, hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus up 1-0. As the aforementioned Ivan Provorov has scored on the power play for
The other
Columbus. It's amazing how that works out.
The other comments I see, and Guru goes, you're going to see Dallas regardless. Yes, you are. But what is true about the Dallas Stars when they get into the playoffs? They start to crumble.
Yeah.
They start to either underperform or they get injured or they get tired because they've already had to go through 7 games with the Colorado Avalanche before they have to meet up with the Edmonton Oilers. They beat the Avs, but they beat them early. So if you're going to ask me when I want to see Dallas, I want to see Dallas as late as humanly possible because what we know about the Dallas Stars, they play best early in the playoffs. They start to crumble. Colorado plays their best hockey in the playoffs late when they get through. Look at all of the early playoff collapses that they've had in this run of Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar, right? What they do is they lose in round 1 or round 2. When they get past that, they win Stanley Cup championships. Historically, they find a way to get it done. So my answer is this. Play Dallas as late as humanly possible. Play the easiest first-round matchup that you can get. Give me Chicago in round 1. Give me Utah in round 1. Hell, give me Anaheim in round 1. I'll see Dallas after they have to go 7 games against Minnesota, and I'll feel way better about that than having to play them in round 1 as the 2-3 seed.
Well, I know it's annoying that Dallas remains right behind you, and they were actually
They're very
tied.
fucking good. They're an excellent hockey team.
They're really good.
Should be right behind you.
Man, they were tied with the Sharks, like I think 1-1 after 2 last night, and then they pulled away and won that game. And
I almost called that, didn't I? I almost called it 2
nights
ago.
So look, it's dangerous for 2/3 of the game. And they will drop some, like they're going to, just like Colorado dropped to the Islanders. Dallas will drop some as well. But you want, man, if you can get, and it should be a Dallas, Minnesota first round series, you want Dallas going up against Jesper Wallstedt and Kirill Kaprizov and Faber and Buyam and Boldy and everybody.
Jake Middleton.
And that's at least 6. And that's what you want. And look, that's why every game's important for Colorado. They're going to drop some. They are. It's not going to be perfect. They're not going to have just 2 regulation losses the rest of the season. League's too good. And again, Dallas will drop some. And this is a tricky 4-game road trip. They always are. They always are. These East Coast, even if Nashville's on the back end, these are always tricky. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have a stinker against the Islanders, but what a response. What a response today to get 2 in the Garden. And they're still very much so on pace. As Evan Rodriguez has scored for the Panthers, it is 1-1.
All right, Spring. Amazing goal from Nathan MacKinnon. Fun hockey game. Avs looked like themselves for the last 2/3 of the game. New York put up a good fight. You finally get the extra point. You look great. You almost looked dominant in overtime for the first time this year,
Mm-hmm.
which should make you feel good. The power play sucked yet again, or at least just decided not to shoot pucks yet again. Hopefully that changes tomorrow against the Philadelphia Flyers. That game time was at 11 a.m. tomorrow
I
against the
believe
Flyers.
so.
Yeah, 11 a.m., 10:30 a.m. pregame show on Altitude 92.5. Spring and I will be here right around 1:30 for Between the Pipes, and then we'll walk you guys up for a half hour before the Broncos take on the Craptastic, the dog butt, as I steal something from Nate and Andy, the dog butt Vegas Raiders.
Yes. Double wins tomorrow. Actually, I think the Nuggets play the Hornets, I want to say.
Should be triple wins.
That's a triple win day written all over
Crazy
it. Don't
comeback from the Nuggets last night, man. They
you
were in
know,
trouble in Atlanta.
yeah, and that's something they should do. Atlanta's solid, but that's something they should do. And yes, they're in Charlotte tomorrow. So hey, let's get 6 points to put it in hockey parlance.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. SEC Championship kicking off right now on Altitude 92.5. So if you're driving around, pop it on the station and listen to number 9 Georgia and number 3 Georgia and number 9 Alabama. Right after that will be the Big Ten title game between undefeated number 1 and number 2 Ohio State and Indiana. Spring, we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your Saturday. Avs play tomorrow at 11 a.m. against Philly.